Hello, colleagues. This is Darian, and I'm delighted to speak with you today after the March board meeting, a very exciting board meeting where we talked about several different things. Now, I'll highlight a few of them right now in this message to you. First, we talked about the very wonderful allocation or recommendation that the county executive has made regarding Montgomery College's operating budget. We're very grateful to the executive for recommending an increase in the college's operating budget of approximately $11 million, which takes us over our maintenance of effort. We're very excited because we clearly know that the executive recognizes the value that we bring to this community. And over the next several weeks, we're going to continue to work with our county council to help close that gap as we see it based on the resources needed to operate the college in the next fiscal year. So we're going to need your help in that regard. Over the next few weeks, you'll be receiving emails from our communications team, from our governmental relations team, as we start to make the case about the value we bring to the community and also the outcomes that we anticipate based on the budget that we have designed for this next fiscal year. Very grateful to the executive as always and look forward to working with the county council in regards to that. So the board heard about that and we talked a little bit about strategy in that regard, but then we talked and spent the majority of our meeting this month on issues regarding the achievement gap. Many of you are aware that we had a task force working on closing the achievement gap, and this group, a little bit more than 80 people who worked almost 8 months on looking at best practices as it relates to closing the achievement gap, understanding our own institutional data regarding the performance of students who are Black and brown, and understanding the challenges that come with that population. Very clearly spent time also looking at the ways in which how anything that we do for a particular population should benefit the whole of our student body. What I loved about this particular work done by the Achievement Gap team was also looking at the ways in which our employees, the roles that they play in helping students be successful, but also the obligations we have as an institution to our employees to help them be prepared for that work, both in terms of our training and development, but also the ways when we look at succession planning and the ways we think about how students should be able to see a reflection of the community that they live in the faculty and the staff and the administration of the college. So I want to thank them so much for the work they did. Dr. Beverly Walker Graffia had been charged with bringing this group together. She had it most ably led by Dr. Tony Hawkins and wonderful counselor Hilda Smith, who did an outstanding work of shepherding, I think, a truly thoughtful team composed of internal college community members, but also folks who are our stakeholders who are external to the college. So I want to thank them for all of the work that they've done. They brought forth in their report 47 recommendations that span about how students first make contact with this institution, to how they experience it while they're here, how they transition out of the organization, how we prepare them for the work that they do, but also very clearly looking at policy issues about how we onboard and professionally train our employees when they are here, how we support them in supporting our students. What's very exciting about this right now is the board was so committed to this. They want to see an operational plan immediately on how we look at actualizing this particular report and making it real for our students. As one board member says, they don't want it to be something that sits on the shelf. They want to make sure that we're very thoughtful about this. So that takes me to my concluding thoughts about this closing the achievement gap. One, very deliberately, that there's been a lot of talk about the achievement gap, and we know this is happening at the K-12 sector, it's happening in higher education. So we know that the achievement gap did not start at Montgomery College, but I am convinced that it can end here based on the outstanding faculty and staff that we have who are dedicated to making this real. The other thing that I will offer to you about the achievement gap is that we have an opportunity to truly transform the lives of our students, and we have an obligation to do that, both from, I believe, a truly social transformational space, but also recognizing the economic value that it brings to a community, and very clearly recognizing that at Montgomery College, we are owning it. We're putting our data out there about how students experience and achieve at this organization, and we're going to be very thoughtful to make sure that we own the responsibility that it takes to help ensure that every student has not only equity and access to Montgomery College, but equity and success at Montgomery College. It is always an honor to speak with you and tell you about the actions of our board. And I hope that I get the opportunity to speak to many of you over the next several weeks, and we'll have an opportunity to do so. In fact, in April, I hope you'll take the opportunity to come to my State of the College. I think this will be the third annual State of the College, where we'll be talking about issues such as what do MC students need in order to be successful here? And then we'll also have an upcoming town meeting. Please make sure that you take advantage of those opportunities to interact. More importantly, I hope that we are done with the snow, and I hope that you are doing well. Take care and be well.